Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to watch football, not get married. What are we doing here?
I've gotten a lot of baby powder. People are like, man, what'd you get out of baby powder for? I think I'm going to have to smack the hell out of a lot of people this year. I just can feel it.
Hold on. The only thing you should be getting married to in the fall is football.
That's right, y'all. It's No Weddings in the Fall, the show that rekindles your love back with football. Justin and Ben are back with me tonight as we break down last week in college and NFL. And then, of course, we'll look at this week as well. Let's get our introduction started. Welcome to the studio, Justin Jesus Herrera.
Oh, what's up, guys? Sorry to look like I'm about to doze off here. I just got up from a little long nap, just getting myself ready to go for tonight's show, getting myself recharged and ready to go. And as usual, I will always have my Ben Troupe question of the day. And I think this one's going to be a little percolating one. I've never heard this one actually answered by another pro athlete. So I can't wait to hear Ben's answer.
Nice. I'm excited for that then. And by the way, naps as you get older are completely underrated. I go to pick up my daughter every day. If you don't get up there an hour early, you have to wait a really long time. So I get my butt up there an hour early, put the AC on blast, tip that seat back, and it's night time. It is unbelievable. Feel great afterwards. So that's how the Greeks live longer. So that's why we got to copy their motto. I love it. All right, let's welcome in, of course, our man of the hour, Ben Skadoob Troupe. Welcome in, my friend.
And always good to be on with your commissioner, Justin. Listen, there's a gentleman out there who he's a legend, and this is what he was known for. His wife walks in the house, and he's sleeping, and all his kids are sitting on the ground, and they're painting. And his wife was like, "Are you sitting here sleeping?" He said, "No." They said they wanted to paint Daddy with his eyes closed. He said that sleep. He said, and they told me, "Daddy, don't move." I'm like, "All right, Daddy's not gonna move." I said, "Can Daddy put the cover up here?" Like, "Yeah, just don't move, Daddy." They're sitting like this. I said, "That is brilliant. He just sitting there asleep." She walking like, and he goes, "And they got to start over now because you just made me move. Thanks a lot, Mom." And she had to walk off like, "All right, let's start again. I get some new paper." That is, my kids wouldn't do that. They know I'm sleeping, but yeah, I should have tried that when my kids was younger. They're not gonna do that now.
As our boy Fred the Jester Reyes just commented, old people shit.
and that used to hurt my feelings. But now I'm like, hey, dude, with all this legislation going on and we doing elections, what about implementing naps at work? What's up? Kids get to take naps. And they don't want to.
I'm with that, and also get rid of daylight saving time. I'm fucking tired of it. By the way, Fred also wanted to mention that Justin's looking like a hobo tonight. So, and if you hadn't noticed my wardrobe, I'm off the football and we're back into basketball. Let's go. All right.
Okay.
My college team can't even fucking hang as usual. All right, let's pay the bills right quick. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a solid, give us a like, throw your comments in there. Of course, subscribe to the channel. Little things stopping you from doing it, big things popping for us when you do. We always appreciate that. Also, go to Pro-Am Belts if you're looking for some championship bling for your fantasy champion. And of course, if you're looking for some daily fantasy, go to the Fast Trap app. Use the promo code Troupe. We'll double that deposit up to $50. So check that out. All right, let's get it started with what we were watching last week on the Week on Repeat.
And now to football scores with the boys from No Weddings in the Fall with the Week on Repeat.
What a week it was indeed. I've already mentioned it. I put it on our thing, but I'm just going to bring it up. The fucking Hurricanes do exactly what they always do, and the same thing the Dolphins always seem to do. I should say as of late anyway, especially for the Hurricanes, which is start to blow it as the season gets colder. SMU 26-20 defeat, whatever. Do you guys have anything to say before we move on to the next games? I don't even really want to talk about it, but Justin, you got any comment about the Hurricanes fucking it up per the usual.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed like the trap game that you're supposed to win, and you just didn't do it. And props to Kevin Jennings. He's up and down, but he really does have some serious potential as a dual threat quarterback at the next level. It's good to see him have a big game against a big school because SMU came in with a lot of hype after their playoff run last year.
Yeah. Anyway, Ben, anything to say?
Carson Becker's thrown 6 interceptions to 2 teams, 4 to Louisville and 2 to SMU. The thing about Carson Becker is he's a hot and cold quarterback. When he's hot, he's hot. And when he cold as hell. You be like, Carson. Because let's face it, no one's going to care about what anybody else did or didn't do. But I would look at Mario Cristobal's record in November. Just type that in. Type his record in November. You're going to start saying, Cristobal, what? Do you have a crystal ball? Did you shake it? What does it say? It says, wrong. It's November. I don't know why Miami does this. I mean, I'm serious. Like Miami, boosters check, players check, quarterback check, coach check, November. We lose to SMU, to the Mustangs. Are they the Mustangs? I think that's what they are. Come on, man.
Yeah, SMU Mustangs.
Southern Methodist, Southern Methodist University. Southern Methodist. Stop it.
It's
Boys from Dallas.
New convicts versus Catholics, I guess. All right. Anyway, all right. Let's get on to games that matter and teams that matter. How about that? Oklahoma, 33-27 over Tennessee. Pretty decent game. Ben, we'll go to you for this one. What'd you think of this one?
I think this is why everybody in Tennessee is kind of fed up with Coach Heupel. He's a really, really good coach, but they can only beat teams that are not good. Tennessee can't beat good teams. I mean, I know the only way you can make that sherbet orange look good is to put black all around it. So them all black jerseys they had on was smooth because Coach Venables, head coach of Oklahoma, realizes, look, man, we're the team that no one talks about, but we can beat anybody in the SEC. So I wasn't surprised that Tennessee lost. I just thought that at this point, Tennessee would only lose to teams like Alabama, like Georgia, but they want to add Oklahoma to it. So, hey, man, Tennessee is a good team, not a great team of Coach Heupel. I know he's not going to get fired. But they done with him in Knoxville at this point because they're saying to themselves, dude, maybe you've shown us as good as you're going to be as a coach, and now you're losing to teams like Oklahoma who you had no business losing to, but you did.
So, Justin, I don't know if you saw this comment here, but
yeah.
Hey,
that's the funniest thing.
Do you see this guy? He says, bro, I got to come out and look football. Can never come on a Friday show, but now you want to come on a different show on Wednesday night. Okay, Fred, we'll see. The invite is always there for you, brother. So
hey. This is Fred. This perfectly describes Fred's in-season attendance record. Disappointing.
To be fair to him, he did show up on a Friday when I needed him to come up one time.
He showed up on a Friday. Oh my God.
Absent all summer, all right. All right, let's not ride for it too much. Let's go to
the guy that wanted to be on like 3 days a week. We got to hype this thing up. We got to get this thing going. Come on, Fred.
He said twice. All right, that's fair. But it wasn't the 3 times a week. What he actually wanted was us to do shows during the off season. So
that's what I was getting at, is that he wanted so much more content, and then twice a week is like tough for him. I'm like, come on, bro.
All right, we love you, Fred. Anytime you want to come on here, bro, you are more than welcome. All right, I think we were losing Ben. I think the internet wasn't too good, so let's have you talk about the Texas 34-31 over Vanderbilt game. Finally, Texas went on a big game. What'd you think of this matchup?
Yeah, it was it was everything that you wanted to see from Texas from the very beginning.
Oh, you hit mute.
I was supposed to hit mute you. I'm sorry. And from Vanderbilt, it was everything you were afraid was going to happen, because this game, Vanderbilt just got started way too late. I mean, it seemed like maybe middle of the third quarter, they finally got this thing in the third gear and started getting cooking. And by then it was pretty much over. It was Texas coasting to a win. And that's kind of what ended up happening. Vanderbilt's still obviously going to be, in that playoff contention Their chances just got slimmer, but they'll be there. But for Texas, it was the win that they wanted and something to kind of bank on for next year when they bring Arch Manning back, because nobody wants to go to the Jets. Nobody wants to go to the Jets.
Yep, subtle jabs at the Jets, but you're right.
That was right for you, Fred, just for you. Ben, the next game I wanted to talk about was Georgia. 24
You saw it.
20.
You saw it.
Yeah, hey, now, hey, and all right, here's what's funny. I actually didn't get to see it. It was so weird because I was up in our cabin, and all I got is my YouTube TV, and I guess YouTube and ESPN are doing a pissing match, so they don't carry ESPN, any ABC. It's the strangest thing. I didn't know anything about that until like that happened. I'm like, oh my god. So now of course I got the ESPN app on my TV at home, but I missed this entire game. So I was just going off the highlights, and I saw Florida was doing their thing for a little bit. So give me your thoughts on this game.
This is what I'm gonna say about this entire game. You know how like when you a real bad team, which Florida is this year, and there's no way they're gonna let Florida beat Georgia. But Georgia didn't get the memo. Georgia was doing some dumb stuff, and then the worst thing that could happen happened. You know, a guy come wide open. I'm not talking about kind of open, Justin. I'm not talking about kind of open, Commissioner. It's one of those things. Remember, like when you first started playing football, and you just playing backyard football, and one of your guys just break three, and you thinking, I got to do two things. I can't overthrow him, but I got to give him a catchable ball. Notice I didn't say underthrown. DJ Lagway underthrown. So this was a controversial call. He had to stop, and he caught the ball. He had to stick his arms like on the ground to catch it. Now, these Georgia fans was like, that wasn't a catch. It was a catch. It was a catch. But it wasn't. Look at the box. You see 24-20. You start saying to yourself, did Florida have a shot to win this game? Yeah, it was a fumble. They got picked up for Georgia. There was a lot of calls. I knew we were going to lose, no matter what. Like if Florida would have won, they would have blew up college football. Kirby Smart would have quit. He wouldn't have played. He wouldn't have coached no more. He wouldn't want to do it. But I'm just happy that Florida didn't lay down. I'm happy that they didn't go lay down. It was a Christian woman, God-fearing woman. She might have cussed a little bit on Saturday. Might have been cussing. Might have to ask my daddy, did he hear her do it? But it was a good game, man. I can take it. I don't like Kirby Smart. I don't like Georgia. Golly. I do not like him. Georgia fans, Justin, Commissioner, you guys don't know Georgia fans seem to think they're sophisticated. They seem to think that people are jealous of them. Let me tell you something. If you wear all red overalls and it's not court ordered, no. Like you went to a store and said, "Hey, can you paint these all red?" They're like, "You really want to?" Yeah. You want some all red? What are you, a child? Is that Oshkosh Bagosh? What the hell? Anyway, don't get me started on Georgia fans. Shout out to Georgia. They stick it to their winning age. Kirby Smart is 8-2 against Florida since he got there. I wish they would have got that, man. I want Florida to get them all. But I wish they would have got that. DJ Levy, the interim coach, he's the interim coach, played well. He said we don't do moral victories, but hey, man. Listen, Miami lost, Florida State won, Florida lost. I'm a Falcons fan. It's just play for the Titans. My life. I got to make better decisions, man. This stuff is crazy, man. Like, I'm for real, man. I had a dude ask me the other day, man, how about them Titans? I said, man, get the hell on. How about them Titans? What the hell wrong with you? Oh, Daddy, that's you. I'm talking to my dad. Oh, yeah. Well, Daddy, my bad. Yo. But, yeah, it was a good game. I can take a good game any day of the week. And this how bad it is. My neighbor is a Florida fan, but he has a red truck. That means that he pissed these Georgia fans. You got a red truck. With a Georgia, with a Florida, he's a Florida fan with a red truck, and he has a Florida emblem on like paint on his car. He got a little red pickup truck. And I used to have an English bulldog. So F Georgia, man, get on my nerves. What?
So
It's It sounds like Georgia's like Kansas City now. Like you get a
No,
couple
they're not. No. Justin, let me help you understand something. We will not have that blasphemy on this show. No, Georgia is not Kansas City. Georgia's this how crazy Georgia is. Georgia had a quarterback from California that when he got to Georgia, they said, "Man, how you feel about going to Georgia?" He said, "Oh man, I can't wait to be in Atlanta." He has no clue where he is. Georgia, no, I can't wait to be in Atlanta. No, that would be Georgia Tech. You were in Athens. What people say? So where are the fans going to be? Find the nearest Walmart, and they're either in the parking lot or they're in Walmart shopping for red overalls, and they bark at each other. They just walk around barking. Listen, until y'all Georgia don't have, I'm just telling y'all. I'm gonna talk trash because y'all. I'm gonna talk trash to the team. It don't matter who it is, but y'all don't know what you have to deal with up in Georgia. Herschel Walker, Uga is a freaking beat the hell out of him. All white bulldog, 10 yards without a panic attack, heart attack. Anyway, they beat us. All my friends that called Georgia because y'all called the other time, I got some fresh baking powder. So if you want to do it, I'm gonna just line y'all up. I'm gonna just go down the line, smacking y'all. And this is why: if you went to Georgia Southern, you root for Georgia Southern. If you went to Georgia State, you root for Georgia. You can't go to Georgia State and talking about go Georgia. You're confused, aren't you? You didn't even go to Georgia. Come on, but I'm from the state, and
so the only thing that's laying down right now is Ben's internet. But I will say, I would have never thought Osh Gosh Bagosh would have been plugged on this show. And I mean, now all we need is some Underoos references, and then it's on now. All right. Just muted myself. Let's talk about this wild ass weekend in the NFL. It was very interesting games, and I'm gonna start with this Bears 47-42 over the Bengals. Now listen, the Bengals might not be that good, but man, have their games have been fun to watch. Talk about the Jets last week. Joe Flacco is just making the Bengals must-watch TV at this point. You might as well just put them on Sunday nights because, man, what some fun games. I mean, they have no defense, but they have an amazing offense, which equals good football, crazy enough. Good entertaining football to watch, put it that way. What are your thoughts on the Bengals-Bears game, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to watch Joe Flacco go out there and succeed with everybody, under the sun. I mean, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. But I'll tell you what, Bengals are a pitch perfect example of why you don't pay two receivers and you fucking figure out what your problem is. Your problem has always been defense ever since Joe Burrow's been there. I'm pretty sure he's been defense since Andy Dalton was there. They haven't had a good defense since they had Vontaze Burfict knocking off AJ or Antonio Brown's head. I still think somewhere Antonio Brown's head is still like loose. Like there's the screw loose over there on what was it, the Bengals field at that point? Yeah, Jesus Christ. But anyways, this team saw what the Jets did and they said, "Oh no, we're still in it to win it." You're just like, dude, you're not in it to win it. You're not winning anything. You can't even outscore bad teams. Like, bad teams are putting 47 points on you. It's a disgrace at this point. Trey Hendrickson is about to walk for nothing. So instead of getting like, a third, maybe a third and a fourth, they're going to literally just let him walk because he doesn't want to have any part of this team anymore. And rightfully so. I mean, dude's been like miserable there, collecting sacks for days, being up there with Myles Garrett and getting treated like he's literally a day one like rookie because pay wise, this guy is getting nowhere near what he deserves. And then, they just trade away one guy, Logan Wilson, to Dallas for a 7th round pick. Who's ever heard of a 7th round pick that was that good, right? Brock Purdy. But who's ever heard of a 7th round pick that was that good for the Bengals?
He got up out of there. He got to hit. Listen, Logan Wilson, like, get me up. He got up out of there though. Whatever. No, the Bengals problem is the Bengals. The Bengals. Did you hear that the Bengals had Boomer Esiason and Chad Johnson, the Ring of Honor guys, right? They had them back to honor them, but they had to pay for their own flight, get their own hotels. You didn't hear about that? Yeah. Like, listen, we're gonna honor y'all. Hey, and what? Yeah. This is you should Google it. Like they're honoring, their Ring of Honor guys. But a part of it was you got to get your own. Basically, you got to get your own self to the game, and they only gave you like 2 tickets. I would have been like, hold up, wait a minute. Number one, do I even want to be in a Bengals Ring of Honor? No, not for real. And number two, what do you mean? That's like, that's like me, you invite me to your party, but I got to pay for the party. Yeah, I'm inviting you, but you got to pay for everything. What? Yeah, you got to get me a cake, and how many? We're gonna have 50 people there. No, this really happened. Like, yeah. So the Bengals problem is they're the Bengals. Like, somewhere we need to get past the Bengals going to the Super Bowl, man. We need to let that year go. It was such an outlier. Like, everybody like, yeah, man, they gonna what they gonna do? Yeah.
I was surprised as shit. This is absolutely 100% true.
Like,
that's a disgrace. That's a fucking disgrace, dude.
No. Here's the thing. That's the Bengals. That, like, the worst. People say, man, who's the worst organization? I said, I don't know who the worst organization is in the NFL because I'm a Falcons fan, so I don't know who's the worst. The worst front office? Oh, that's the Bengals. They didn't want to pay Shamar Stewart. You know how many sacks Shamar Stewart has? I think he has 0 right now at this point. He's a rookie, though. He'll come around. Trey Hendrickson has 35 sacks in 2 years. They didn't want to pay him. Joe Flacco makes a lot of money. They don't give him nobody to block for him. That's why he's hurt again. And their quarterback is 40. That's all you know. Their starting quarterback is 40 years old. So all I'm going to say is, when people say, why are the Bengals, I'll say, just ask TJ Houshmandzadeh. Just ask Chad Johnson. Right? Just ask Carson, Carson that was there. Just ask them all. Ask anybody that's ever come through the Bengals. They're going to say, dude, you went to bed as a Bengal and you woke up as a Bengal. When I played in Cincinnati one time, they had a little ice skating rink, there people ice skating on the outside. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And then we go on to the stadium the next day, man. I said, man, how does it feel to be a Bengals fan? And the guy looks at me and said, I ain't got nothing else to do. Like, what? I just live here. It's just something to do on Sunday. I said, for real? Like, yeah, Carson Palmer. Ask them all. Ask any Bengal. That's a waste. Trey Hendrickson went to the wrong team. And Trey Hendrickson wanted to do the same thing Myles Garrett did. He just want to cash out. I just want my money. Because most teams ain't going to win no Super Bowl now. So to the team saying, oh, Myles Garrett, he only took the money. Yeah, I got to live and play in Cleveland. What you think? Sense. Yeah, I told you. See, Justin, you looked it up and saw, dang, they really did that. That's not even an honor. How you going to honor me, but I had to pay for my flight, pay for my hotel, and I only get 2 tickets. And the tickets ain't even in the box seats. I'm literally in the stands.
Yeah.
That's a waste of a color combination.
That's embarrassing. And, bottom line is Cincinnati ain't been cool since WKRP was hitting their airwaves. All right, let's get on to the next one. We want to talk about the Vikings up. Well, I guess it was an upset over the Lions, 27-24. Ben, what did you think about this game?
The Vikings gave you the blueprint of how you actually beat the Lions. Take away the running game. Make them one-dimensional offense, and listen. And if Amon St. Brown ain't scoring touchdowns, it don't matter. Amon St. Brown catches a lot of passes, right? If it ain't for 6 points, they can't beat you. So, and that's the thing about Minnesota is confusing too. They'll go out there and beat the Lions, right? The Lions, and then they'll lose to a team that's not that good. You be like, dude, who are y'all? So, I was happy for JJ. I mean, he was able to get some get back. But if you are the Lions, you start saying to yourself, dude, how good are we? Like we embarrassed Lamar Jackson because he was still playing then before he came back. We embarrassed the freaking Ravens. We can go out there and look like world beaters. Then we can go out there and look like the Lions. I mean, with Aiden Hutchinson, with Jameson Williams, with Montgomery, with Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, with Laporte, all these players lost. So Minnesota is a team that's going to definitely be contending in the NFC North. That NFC North is crazy. But if you are the Lions, you start saying to yourself, Amon St. Brown, we know you want to go viral when you score touchdowns. But we need you to get in the end zone because James Williams, he don't get in the end zone that much. Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery, usually one or the other have a good game. Neither one of them decide to have a good game on Sunday. And shout out to Minnesota. Harrison Smith for the Minnesota Vikings has been there a long time. He's been in Minnesota a long, and he's still doing it. Like he's still getting it done. People go, where's Harrison Smith went to Notre Dame, and he's been there a minute. He's still getting it done in the back end. Minnesota got a sneaky good defense, man. They sneaky good. And if you are the Lions, you saying to yourself, hey, man, who wants to be the front runner? Green Bay, their leg. The Green Bay loses to freaking Carolina. Minnesota beats the Lions. That whole division is crazy. And Chicago, they win it. So it's going to be up for grabs. But shout out to them purple people eaters, man. Making sure them Lions know y'all good, but y'all ain't world beaters. So, but I like the game, though. Good game.
Yeah.
Indeed. All right. You said it best right there. Justin, Steelers, 27-20. I finally bought into Daniel Jones, and then he pulls a Daniel Jones. I don't know if maybe it was the defense. The Steelers D was lights out, but
they were on fire.
All right, what are your thoughts on the game, and then tell me if you think this is the end of the Colts run.
No, it's not the end of the Colts run. I mean, I called it on Sunday. I said that the Steelers were going to get this game because they needed it, and Tomlin and that defense just dialed up a vintage defensive, Pittsburgh Steelers game. Like they were blitzing nonstop. They held Jonathan Taylor to under 100 yards. They figured it all out. Like Ben just said, when you don't have the best running back in the league doing the best running back in the league things, it's very hard to win. And the 2 games that he has not been the best running back in the league, oh, look at that. They got 2 losses. So it's very easy to see how it goes. It's always easier said than done when you have elite talent like Jonathan Taylor to just say, oh, slow him down, stack the box, because the offensive line is obviously still very good too. But obviously that's a good formula for it. And then, just keeping Danny Dimes on his toes all game long, tons of blitzes. Jalen Ramsey played his ass off on the back end, and it's always easier, it's always easier in the secondary when your pass rush is getting home and either making it really uncomfortable or putting the other guy completely on his ass. So it's always easier for your entire defense, but more importantly, your secondary that's old and aging and decrepit. Sorry, Joey Porter Jr., I threw you in there, but Jalen Ramsey has more than enough age for the 2 of you. But yeah, so I thought it was a great game for the Steelers. It's going to be interesting to see if they can keep it up, though, because that is an old-ass defense, and it just gets harder and harder to keep that shit going for the next, they got like another 8 games or so to keep that shit going. Then you got the playoffs. So it's going to be tough for them to continue it, but if they can pull this together, TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward and Jalen Ramsey can kind of put the next 8 games together, they have a real serious chance to win this division.
Yeah, so if you missed it earlier, as we were talking about old stuff, maybe the Steelers should invest in some naps themselves.
Now I'm about to say, there it is. There, www. I need a nap.com. Like we talking about the dirty 30s. TJ Watt, he in his 30s. I want to say Cam Hayward was born in like 89. I could be wrong. I think he was born in like 89. So he's definitely Jalen Ramsey is in his 30s. And Aaron Rodgers was born in 83. I was born in 82. So I already know. Aaron Rodgers probably be like, can I get a nap before the game? The last time we did that, dude, you missed pregame. For real? Yeah, dude, we could wake you up. All right. Well, can I use Jared? Can I use some Ben Gay or some? Look, they're going to have to make it through these next 8 games. These massage therapists in Pittsburgh, they finna expand because they're going to be doing acupuncture and everything. I mean, because, yeah, man, your body ain't what it used to be, Jalen. Jalen Ramsey out there with no gloves on, looking like the mannequin. Looking like the freaking Pittsburgh still a DB mannequin out there. But they did get it done.
All right, let's go to the final one of last week. Bills versus Chiefs, 28-21 Bills. I talked about it last week. The Bills are just kind of up and down, but the freaking Chiefs were hot as anything last week, but Bills put them in their place. What do you think about it, Ben?
I think the Bills need this game more than Kansas City because I think Kansas City, they're going to find a way to still squeak into the playoffs. This is what Josh Allen does, though, right? He'll beat up on Patrick Mahomes in the regular season, and then if they meet each other in the AFC Championship game, he goes cold. It's almost like we've seen this before. And we're like, Josh Allen this and Josh Allen that. No, I keep telling people this about Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes do stuff that gets you benched. Patrick Mahomes be throwing across his body. Who was he throwing it to? You just throw the ball up. Yeah, Travis Kelce, I think he down there. No, dude, like you can't just do that. So shout out to them Bills who they stand up at New England right now being best in that division right now, which is crazy. But if you are Kansas City, does Andy Reid got enough clout to tell Patrick Mahomes, stop doing that dumb stuff? Like, dude, what are you doing? You can't just throw it out there, because you Patrick Mahomes. You got to see him. Can you see him? I saw red. Yeah, but it was surrounded by blue. It was interception. So yeah, I was surprised that the Buffalo got this win. I would say this though for Buffalo though, if James Cook ain't cooking, I don't even know. And outside of the two-headed monster at tight end for Josh Allen, what's up with Keon Coleman? Like you do know you're supposed to be the number 1 receiver, right? Like Keon Coleman. They be answering questions after the game like, Keon, man, didn't really have the game you wanted. He said, yeah, well, we got to win. We talking about you, though. We are talking to you about what you are not doing, okay? We ain't talking about, you getting your you getting your jackets from Macy's. Yeah, I know you went viral. Yeah, I got them from Macy's. Yeah, well, you need to get open. We pay you to get open. Not off the rack jackets for like $20. But so they got the dub though, and I don't know, but I don't really trust Buffalo though. They won, but Buffalo ain't. I don't know. I don't see them going far in the playoffs with having lackluster offensive days like that.
Yeah, I think next week when we come on, we're gonna go through who we think our playoff teams are gonna be because it's starting to get down to the wire. But we'll talk about that next week. Let's get on to what we're talking about this week, or what we're watching this week in college.
Don't worry, Ben. No weddings here. I just want to know what college game to watch this week.
All right, let's talk. Not a ton of top 25 matchups this week. So let's go to the couple that are number 8 BYU versus number 9 Texas Tech. The series is tied 1-1. Last time they played was in 2023. BYU won 27-24. Justin, what's your thoughts on this game?
Yes, interesting game. It's an interesting game. I haven't been keeping up with a lot of BYU football, but I do like the Red Raiders, and yeah, I know, surprising, right? I'm sorry, I'm not really big on the Mormon side of the football and the Utah and all that stuff. I don't keep up with the Utes either. But I will say, coming into this season, there was a lot of hype behind this program, and they kind of have started to back it up. Texas Tech, on the other hand, I was really surprised when Quentin Joyner went down because Texas Tech invested a lot this offseason in the portal. Like, you want to talk about a team that went all in. They went all in and more in the portal this offseason. And, one of their biggest pickups was Quentin Joyner, and he went down. But this kid, Jacoby Williams, has been absolutely fire for them. And, he's really picked up the slack, kept the running game going. Caleb Douglas finally started to look like NFL prospect. He's a guy who's been kind of like fringe day 3 guy, and he looked really good last week. But, if I were to pick anybody, I would stick with the Red Raiders in this one. I think that they kind of probably have a little bit more on the offensive side than the guys from BYU.
Ben, you got anything to chime in with the BYU stuff? Because, I don't watch them that much either.
Yeah, listen, I ain't gonna lie. Last time I watched BYU, I think Zach Wilson was the quarterback. I mean, and he ended up going number 2 overall. I think teams like BYU and Texas Tech, they get lost in the sauce, right? Like, they be ranked in the top 10. People be like, Texas Tech. Like, yeah, the last time I seen Texas Tech, I think Graham Harrell was a quarterback, and I want to say that Michael Crabtree was the freaking receiver. That's the last time. And teams like Texas Tech is like a SMU. It's so many schools in Texas, you forget how many it is. So Texas Tech got on the map because Texas Tech is known for basketball, they go deep into the tournament. But I do agree with Justin. It's like these type of teams have to wait for like towards the end of the season because a lot of other really, really good teams have beat up on each other, so they've climbed their way into the top 10. But I mean, it might end up. Look, Texas Tech is in the same realm as like an Indiana, except Indiana is really, really good, and Indiana can beat you. And their coach has got an extension. But I'll try to check it out a little bit this weekend, see if I. But I do agree with Justin. Listen, the Mormons go to BYU, they go to Utah. I think they go to Utah State, aka some of them. You better check some of the birth certificates. Some of them boys be old as hell. They do not be 20, but they be like 26, 27. Then they've been on a mission trip and did all kind of stuff. How you 26, 27 with a kid and 2 kids and a wife at home still getting beat the hell out of you by some 18-year-olds? Stop that, man. Get your grown man stuff on.
Listen. Last time I watched BYU, I think it was Ty Detmer was. Anyway, all right.
I thought you were going to say Steve Young. But Ty Detmer. Let's go.
All right, let's get to the next matchup. Number 3, Texas A&M taking on number 19, Missouri. Texas A&M actually leads the series 10-7. When they played last year, though, they won 41-10. They won 2 in a row in the series. Ben, what you think of this game? Who wins?
I think Texas A&M got to watch out for the Troupe game. Obviously, they're undefeated right now. They playing really, really big-time football. I think Eli Drinkwitz is a team that could definitely beat Texas A&M. Not saying they're going to do it, but Texas A&M got to be able to handle success. I mean, you talk about the only undefeated team in the SEC right now. They ain't used to that. I mean, Georgia is a one-loss team. Texas is proving that they're better than people thought they were going to be. But to be undefeated this late in the season, that's going to – I mean, they sitting pretty right now to potentially play Georgia in the SEC championship game. But can the Aggies handle success? Because Mizzou is house money. No matter what Mizzou does, you're going to look at it as a win. I mean, the head coach name is Eli Drinkwitz. I mean, a guy that superseded expectations since he's been there coming up from App State. But I got A&M winning, but I wouldn't be surprised if Mizzou made a game out of it.
I like it. Justin, you concur?
Yeah, 100%. I think this is a trap game. But I also think that Texas A&M is disciplined enough to get over this trap game. So I will go Texas A&M in this one. But definitely look out for Mizzou because this kind of has the feeling of like one of those games where you kind of like we just saw with Vanderbilt in Texas where you're like, dude, this team is actually kind of good. Like, don't sleep on them. But I do think Texas A&M will win this one. I think they're kind of building themselves up to be like the Indiana of last year. Nobody saw them coming, and then bada bing, bada boom, they're undefeated in the playoffs.
Indiana looking good again this past weekend, so watch the hell out for them.
They look actually real this year. Like last year, they were just fucking beating nobodies. This year, they're actually beating fucking teams.
And beating them down at that. All right, let's talk about what we're watching in the NFL.
You all are terrible. Even the boys from No Weddings in the Fall didn't pick you to win.
right, let's see what we got for this week for our picks this week. Let's start out with a familiar team for Ben, the ATL Atlanta Falcons, going to those Indianapolis Colts. Crazy enough, the Colts lead the series 15-3. Damn. Last time they played, though, was in 2023, and Atlanta won 29-10. All right, Ben, who you got in this?
I mean, the fact that one team is a real team, that being the Colts, and the other team is I really don't know what's going on with Atlanta right now. Drake London, 3 touchdowns last week. Proven to be a big time receiver coming off 1,000-yard year, but the Colts are coming off a loss. Jonathan Taylor is a real running back they're going to give the football to. Bijan Robinson is a top 2, top 3 running back if you give him the rock. Problem is, Atlanta don't want to give their best player the rock. And the Colts are going to get back to what they do with running the football. Give me the Colts. I can see Atlanta making a game out of it, but Atlanta's going to come out the second half and realize, we're not a real football team, and the Colts are going to run away with it. Colts go to 8-2, and the Falcons go to whatever their record is right now. And if you are Raheem Morris saying stuff like, "Oh yeah, I'm not going to get rid of my offensive coordinator Zach Robinson," they might be finna get rid of you, because I am sick of Raheem Morris at this point. It's not going to be like down there in Miami where Stephen Ross go, "I'm going to get rid of the GM and I'm going to keep Mike McDaniel." That's what you're going to do? Yeah. Oh, Lord. Colts.
Justin, who you like?
Yeah, I got to agree on that one. I go with the Colts on this one. I don't understand, like Ben was just saying, I don't understand what the Falcons are doing on offense. It just seems pretty simple. Like, feed Bijan and kind of just let your offense open up to play action and everything else. Michael Penix is not one of those guys I want to rely on the whole game to be slinging it around. I want him to be opening up opportunities from Bijan. Yeah, the Colts, to me, honestly, also are a better defense. Just add Sauce Gardner to the defense now. Now they have a front seven. They got a secondary that's really good and elite. They're looking like they're just building up for the playoffs. And Falcons, unfortunately, I picked them as my division winner, but it ain't looking so good right now.
All right, I like it. I'm going to go with the Colts as well. I think, you know what? I'm not even going to give analysis because I talked about them last week and they ruined it for me. So we'll just say they'll win. Look like, I guess, the better overall team. We'll put it that way. All right, let's go to the Patriots at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. New England leads the series 7-3. Last time they played was in 2021. Tampa Bay won 19-17. New England, however, has won 4 out of the last 5. Justin, who you like in this one and why?
No, I got the Patriots in this one. I'm going to stick with what the Patriots are doing. I think it's just at this point they've got something cooking that's just working. And on the other side, Tampa Bay's really good too. And I think this is going to be the best game of the week, to be honest with you. But I do think whatever Drake May is going out there, like you said, Baker was the MVP early on in the season. It's totally Drake May at this point. Like, what he's been able to do has just been absolutely phenomenal, especially with a team that last year was absolutely looking useless and didn't look like they got so much better, but just his play has elevated everybody to get that much better.
I like it. What do you say, Ben? Who wins this and why?
Yeah, I got the Patriots, man. They get some good weather. They get to come down to Florida, get some good weather, because I know the temperature is changing for the worst up there in the Northeast. And Drake May is playing well. Stephon Diggs is playing unselfish football. He's not crying for the football. And Mike Vrabel already has his stamp on this team. You look at the way they're gonna play. They're gonna play you tough. They're gonna play you tough for 4 quarters. And if you ain't built to take punches for 4 quarters, the Patriots gonna beat you. This is what the Bucs need to be weary of, though. The thing about Baker Mayfield, he's playing at a MVP level, but he's putting his body on the line. They better hope he get up, because they're gonna try to knock his little behind out. Love the way he's playing, but I said, dude, you're not a big dude, so you better learn how to slide. But I still got the Patriots sticking to their winning ways.
I'm going to go Bucks here. I think off the bye and at home, I think leaves them with the advantage. We know the bugaboo when you play this Patriots team, you can't really run the football on them, and I don't think Tampa's really worried about that. They're going to be throwing high flying all day. I like the Bucks in this particular matchup, especially at home. I just muted myself, and I don't know why. All right, let's go to the next one. The Ravens at the Vikings. Ravens lead the series 4-3. Last time they played was in 2021, and the Ravens won 34-31 in overtime. Ben, who do you think wins this one and why?
Oh man, I got the Ravens, man. First name Lamar, last name Jackson. When he's in the game, it's different. I mean, Lamar Jackson is almost too good at football. Sometimes you like, dude, is he playing with guys out there? And it's what he does for the entire team. Derrick Henry gonna get the rock. Isaiah Likely is back. You talk about, what Zay Flowers is doing. You talk about Andrews. You talk about that defense. I just think the Ravens are what the Vikings are hoping to become. Hey, man, we want to be able to have a solid quarterback. No one does what Lamar Jackson does. And they're coming off a big win against Green Bay. Well, Jordan Love is not Lamar Jackson. Ain't too many people on Lamar Jackson level. So while I like Minnesota, I know what Lamar Jackson is trying to do something crazy, like still make the playoffs with the record that they have. They still trying to go on a run. And, and obviously Cleveland and Cincinnati aren't real football teams, so all they really got to do is find a way to beat Pittsburgh. But I'm going to go with the Ravens in this one.
Justin, who you like?
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm going to go with the Ravens. I think low-key a little defining move was going and getting Draymond Jones from the Titans. A nice pass rusher. He's got about 4.5 sacks this year. Just a little added boost to that defense. Having Roquan back, you still got Kyle Hamilton back there. I love it. I think that this team starts to really pick up some steam on the latter half of their season. Which actually leads to my question of the day, if you're okay with this, Coop. Ben, were you ever on a team that lost a big player or gained a big player at the trade deadline? And if so, how did that affect the locker room?
Wow. No. Back when I was in the league, the trade deadline, it's not what it is now. It's more like when I was in the league at the trade deadline, if you made a big trade, it's because you was in desperation. But now it's more like, hey man, let's make a splash. Let's get rid of some of these expiring contracts, or let's try to get a guy. But sometimes you didn't know. Sometimes your name came up on the trading block. Guys are coming to work, they all pissed. What's wrong with you, man? My name was on the trade. Because sometimes I was so young, I didn't understand it. But if I'm the coach, if I'm a coach and I get a Sauce Gardner, I'm like, hell yeah, we got Sauce Gardner, right? If I'm Dallas, we got Quentin Williams. It ain't gonna help, but we got Quentin Williams. Like, we got a player of that caliber. You want to be able to add to your squad, because sometimes if you the Jets, you thinking, dude, we really just giving up? Yeah. Like if you didn't know before, we have given up. We got Wilson, who's hurt, Quentin Williams, who our best players, both of them are gone. Sauce and Quentin are gone. But if you were Eagle, you waking up loving life. You got Jalen Phillips, you got Michael Carter. You got Nolan Smith coming back. You got Jair Alexander. And if you a Cleveland Brown, you a Cleveland Brown. If you a Cincinnati Bengals, the nerve of teams like the Falcons, you're not going to do anything? No, we good. You good at what? You're not going to do anything? You still got Kirk Cousins. Oh, we do. You see what I'm saying? So, but I sometimes though, if I would have got traded at a trade deadline, I would have been pissed off. But at the same time, sometimes, man, you a tradable piece. You can help people get draft picks. But no, when I played, man, it ain't like what it is now. There's so much coverage now. Back when I played, you really had to wait on people to break news. Oh, shoot. Man, you got jokers tweeting. You got jokers talking about, hey, man, I appreciate Titans. That dude, it ain't even came out yet. You getting traded. So it's just a different time, man. But shout out to them players that get to go to new places, man. Unfortunately, if you ain't good enough, you're going to still have to go out there and make your money. Some of these guys are going to get new deals. Quentin Williams is going to get an extension. Sauce Gardner might try to get some new money. And everybody else, well, Jacoby Myers, well, you a Jacksonville Jaguar. You got the hell up out of Vegas to go to freaking Jacksonville. Congratulations. Now, and no state tax. Your check gonna go up a little bit more. So, but no, I didn't. When I played, no, we didn't do all that.
Patriot Sports Radio, Chris and Eric, what is up? Glad you could join us this evening. Appreciate you. Miss you guys. We got our boy Cap for Life in the studio. Since I'm already on you, Justin, he got a question, fantasy question. Why not while we're here? He wanted to know Musgrave or Fannin, and then Baker or Herbert. Couple of good options there. What do you think?
I think I'd go Musgrave, and then I think a sneaky good play is going to be Baker, because I don't know. I have a weird feeling about the Herbert and the Chargers against the Steelers. It kind of feels like maybe they can roll back in and give them a little bit of trouble. I think Baker is going to be throwing the ball all over the field on Sunday. He's probably going to get picked off, but I think he's going to be able to make up for it 2-1 on touchdowns. So I think I would go Baker and Musgrave.
Yeah, that's a tough one there. The only thing with Musgrave is that, he's just getting implemented really into that number one tight end role, whereas Fannin hasn't, but it's still the Browns. So I feel you on the Musgrave take. And then the Baker or Herbert, man, that is tough. I just flip a coin, bro, because I think you're good either way. Pittsburgh, I think it was like 28th or 29th against fantasy QBs. So it's going to be a good play, I think, either way, Baker or Herbert. So I think you're good. He also wanted to know, I guess while we're here, Wan'Dale Robinson or Jawan Jennings. What do you think?
You know what? I think that's another close one. I think I'd probably go Wan'Dale just because of the problems that the Bears have had in the secondary. Jackson Dart is still going to get some shit done. I mean, Jackson Dart proved it against the 49ers last week. I was very impressed with him with the limited weapons that he had. Cam Scatbo down. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm going to make shit happen with my legs. Very impressed with him. I would not be surprised if Wan'Dale goes out and has himself a day against this weak Bears secondary. But then again, also, Jawan Jennings has had documented great games against the Rams as well. So would not be surprised if either one of those guys goes off. I think you're pretty much in the same ballpark with both those guys as far as score-wise.
He also wanted to throw in, he put this in twice to make sure I read it. Jalen Phillips said there's no other place he'd rather be than Philadelphia. He actually first, I thought it was the she. I thought that was on purpose. All right, it's cool, bro. Listen, I'll just say this. He's got all the makings of greatness, but learn to tackle, bro. So he's right. He did good. He went to the
drink some milk.
For real, listen, there was a play I remember. We got our ass whooped against the Ravens. Don't get me wrong, but there was a point in that game where it was like 3rd and something, and we need to stop. And he had Lamar like dead to rights in the backfield, and Lamar just ran right away from him. Like it was like I was just like, bro, I just can't. This team sucks. Anyway, let's get on to the next game. The Rams at the Niners. Now, the Niners lead this series 79-71-3. They played in week 5, I think I wrote down. I don't know which week it was, but they won. The San Francisco 49ers won 26-23 in overtime. Let's go to you. Let's go to Justin. What do you think? This is our Niner insider. What do you think? Who wins?
Yeah, I mean, of course I'm going to say the Niners are going to win. I do believe that sometimes shit like this happens where if I was an unbiased opinion, which I'm not, but if I was, I'd probably say the Rams were going to win just because of what they have as far as assets. But, what you saw in that week 2 game is that you can't beat culture, and culture wins a lot of games for a lot of teams. 49ers seem like they're just running off of culture right now. The only problem is that every time they're going out there, they're losing another big fucking name, and it's terrible because now they lost their 1st-round pick, Michael Williams, and they didn't even supplement with somebody like from the trade deadline. I thought they were going to at least go out and grab like a mid-tier guy like that, but they didn't even go out and grab anybody for that. So it's tough. One thing they got going for them is their defensive tackles that they got in the draft aren't out yet. So, we'll at least be clogging up the run, hopefully. But it's a tough game. Unfortunately, I probably would see the 49ers, like I said, unbiased losing. But I'm a 49er fan. I will never say that they're going to lose a game, so I will go with the 49ers in this game.
Ben, who you liking this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately for the 49ers, they're the walking wounded 2 years in a row. It was walking wounded in 2024. They're the walking wounded in 2025. I like what Mac Jones has been doing. It's just that I don't see nobody in that secondary for San Francisco to stop Puka. Puka is just unstoppable in this Rams offense. And then there go Devontae Adams. I mean, you talk about what they want to do with the running game. And Matthew Stafford at age 37, dude, it's like, is he ever going to stop being able to throw the rock the way he can throw the rock? I mean, he can make any throw. And like I said, I mean, the 49ers are a good team. I just think the Rams are playing a little bit better. So give me the Rams on this one. I think Mac Jones is going to make a game of it. And Christian McCaffrey, if y'all make it to the playoffs, he's going to be tired as hell. You talking about a guy that needs a nap. Christian McCaffrey's going to be tired as hell by the time y'all get to the playoffs because he'll lead the team in rushing. He'll lead the team in receiving yards and catches. I mean, everybody thought that his workload would cut down when he left Carolina. No, it picked up. Kyle Shanahan yeah, I'm going to use you, C-Mac. I love C-Mac and what he's doing. I mean, George Kittle is back. Trent Williams is still probably the best left tackle in the game, but I still going to take the Rams. I think the Rams are just a better orchestrated team right now.
Smitty in the house. Glad to see you in, my friend. He want to know if Jaden Daniels droppable yet, and I can answer that no. Absolutely not.
Jaden Daniels what?
Droppable, like in fantasy. And at the end of the day, someone like that, you should keep on your team, but depending on what else you have, he's got name value, and the trade deadline's coming up, so go float his name out there. There's plenty of people that'll jump on him for the playoff run, so, make your team better. He also said the Niners will win. Cafferlight wants to know, is Puka going to play? I don't have confirmation on all that yet, but what you could do is check us out on Friday night, and you'll see the doc in, and he will let you know if he's playing this weekend. So check us out on Friday night while we break down this week's action. All right, let's go to the next one. The Steelers at the Chargers. Steelers lead this series 25-11. Last time they played was last year. Pittsburgh won 20-10. What do you think, Ben? Who wins this and why?
Listen, when them East Coast teams got to go to the West Coast, it usually goes well for the West Coast squads, right? Justin Herbert is still finding a way to play really, really good football. Derwin James and company on that defense has shown that, look, they can go out there and stop anybody. I'm gonna look forward to seeing how fast DK Metcalf gonna have a temper tantrum. He likes nobody. I don't know. He gets in a fight with everybody. Derwin James versus DK Metcalf. I don't know who I mean, Derwin is about to, he ain't as big as DK Metcalf, but I let us see him go up. But I'm gonna go with the Chargers only because Pittsburgh beat the Colts, but they had to have a crazy effort from that defense. I mean, Cam Hayward, TJ Watt, you mentioned like Joey Porter Jr., you talk about Jalen Ramsey. I don't see them having that type of effort against the Chargers. I think it's gonna be a close game, but I'm gonna go with the young superstar over the aging superstar. Give me Justin Herbert and the Chargers over, Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers.
Justin, who do you like?
Yeah, I was saying about earlier, I'm going to go with the Steelers in this one, and my biggest bone of contention is that Justin Herbert tends to buckle under pressure, and there is a lot of pressure behind this game because of the fact that the AFC West is the Chiefs are starting to creep back into this thing. The Broncos seem to have a firm hold on the top right now. And then the Chargers are kind of fighting their way in the second place position. I look at the Steelers. They're just a lot more of a gritty team. And I think that that's still one thing that, even though John Harbaugh is like the grittiest person on planet Earth as far as football goes, I still don't believe that the Chargers are the grittiest team in the NFL. I think that when you think about grit, you think more about the Steelers than anything else. I think they're gonna put some dirt on it. They're gonna get their power naps in, and they're gonna go out there with their old man bones creaking and stuff, and they're just gonna go out there and they're gonna deliver another hell of a performance and really make that AFC North division a must-watch going down the stretch as we head into Baltimore-Pittsburgh territory, where that game's going to get really heated up.
Oh, yeah, that's always fun. All right, let's finish it up with the Monday night. Or is this Monday night? Or, yeah, I think it's Monday night delight. The Eagles at the Packers. Packers lead the series 28-20. This was the rematch of the 2023 NFC Wild Card, which was the last time they played. Philly won 22-10. They won 3 in a row in this series, and I heard Deb earlier said it's going to be like 20 damn degrees. Like, wow, we're getting into it now. Justin, who are you liking this one?
Are the Packers the only team to lose to 2 touchdown underdogs twice in a season? Are they the only team to do that? They might be.
Did they lose to Cleveland?
Yep. They lost to Cleveland and they lost to Carolina. I think both were 2 touchdown underdogs. That's fucking nuts, dude. I don't know who the Pack are, but I'll tell you what. If I know one thing about Jordan Love is he lights up in these big moments. He lights up when the lights get like brightest. And, you got to show him against the Eagles. I mean, he did it a couple years back against the Chiefs where he had a good stretch against the Chiefs. I think in the Chiefs and the Eagles, he had some big wins there. I still don't know what the hell the Pack area defense are. I think it's really just like a minor upgrade of putting Micah Parsons on that team. I don't think it was some major upgrade. I think he just does what Micah Parsons does. He has big games, and then he goes quiet for majority of the season. When you have 3 or 4 games of 3 sacks, your stats look good, but that's only 4 games when you showed up. You know what I mean? So, that tends to be a little trademark for Micah Parsons. And he's still a terrible run defender, in my opinion. So I'm going to go with this. I haven't really gone against the Eagles a lot because I learned my lesson last year. It wasn't a good strategy for pick'ems. But I am going to go against them this week because I do have a feeling that Green Bay bounces back in a big way and puts it to the Eagles in this game. Nobody's thinking it, and I'm just going to go out there. You got to put yourself out there if you want to get in the win column, especially for the pick'ems, because I know Jason's ahead of everybody else. Got to go out. Yeah.
This is why my wife says you always pick against the Eagles. See, now I know where she's getting it from. All right, Ben, what do you say? Who wins this one?
Well, I got the Eagles. I mean, the Eagles bring over Jalen Phillips that we were talking about earlier. We were talking about Michael Carter, bring him over in the slot. You talk about Jair Alexander, a guy who definitely understands this, this entire team, definitely on offense. And then when you look at what they got on the D-line, Azeez Ojulari, Nolan Smith comes back. You got Jordan Davis, you got Jalen Carter, you got Bond, you got Saquon. It's just too many guys to deal with. Jordan Love going to have a good game. It's just not going to be a good enough game. And Micah Parsons and Rashad Gary, they might show up. I know that Philadelphia defense is going to show up. It's going to show up in a big way. Quinyon Mitchell, he don't give up a lot of yards. I mean, Guantanamo Bay or Quinyon Bay or whatever they want to call it, give me the Eagles to get a big dub, and I guarantee you Saquon Barkley is going to get fed the rock. Jalen Hurts might not have really, really good numbers through the air, but Saquon Barkley, I think he's going to be reminding people of 2024 that, look, man, I can still run the rock. I'm just not going to have 2,000 yards this season.
Packers D is tough against the run. However, as you before mentioned, Rico Dowdle had a decent day. Saquon Barkley is Saquon Barkley, and if it's getting cold and starting to get Saquon's season, we'll just put it that way. So yeah, I like the Eagles in this too. Don't forget, like I mentioned before, me and Justin are going to head out for the evening. Check us out Friday night, 9 p.m. We're going to break down all of week 10's action and give you your starts and sits for this week. And then, of course, wake up with us on Sunday morning, bright and early at 8 a.m. where we'll get all the fun stuff going for you there. Some NFL betting advice. We'll do our picks and some ultimate DFS lineups to win you some money. All right, with that said, it's time for our boy, Ben Troupe, to give us the Skadoop of the week.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready for Ben Troupe's Skadoop of the Week.
Justin, Commissioner, it's always a pleasure being on with you guys, but I just want to get something off my mind real quick. Steve Sarkisian, head coach of the Texas Longhorns, comes out and says, man, I don't know about this NIL stuff. I mean, it's the wild, wild west. That's why when I'm seeing all my fellow coaches getting fired, they need security. What the hell is you talking about, Steve Sarkisian? Y'all get buyouts. They giving guys $20, $30, $40, and $50 million to get the hell out. There is no greater security to know that not only I got to pay you to be average, I got to pay you even more to leave. Man, Go argue with your mama. Don't nobody want to hear about y'all ain't got no security. They paying y'all millions of dollars to be halfway decent or bottom of the barrel to then complain about getting fired. You're going to be fine, Steve Sarkisian. You are at the University of Texas where they get all money. I do not want to hear about your complaints. Now, if you don't like what I'm saying, I got a fresh box of baby powder just for you. I am being Troupe. This is No Weddings in the Fall, and I'm out of here.